one and all. A few technical difficulties. I think we're more closer to 9 than we were 8:45. Do let us know if you're there in the comments and get involved in the conversation. Of course, as usual, then do let us know if I'm too loud and my guest is too quiet, or I'm too quiet and my guest is too loud. So we're live. It's almost 9. Clive, how are you?
Clive, live at 9. I'm good, mate. I'm good. I've had a bit of a stressful old day out on the road there, but I'm all good, thank you.
Yeah. And, for those that are living away from Southampton, the road's absolutely gridlocked today. And Storm Brendan causing absolute chaos in Hampshire.
Well, I did see that the club historian, Duncan Holly, nearly met his maker today up the common. Apparently, he was walking his dog and 2 trees fell very, very close to him. So a lucky escape, Duncan. Thankfully, you're still with us, mate, and going strong.
Wow, I didn't know that. Well, a lucky escape, if you like, to Duncan. Right, let's say hello to our regulars now in the comments. So hello to Saints fan number 1. I don't know how you judged that, but there you go. Number 1 Saints fan. Hello, Nathan. Good to see you once again. Hello, Ings can have my babies. Hello, Jamie. Hello, King of the South Coast Football. Hello, Kieran. Right. The TJ09 has kicked off a prediction already, 2-0 to win on Saturday, feeling very confident in a victory. But before we get to our predictions then ahead of Saturday for Wolverhampton Wanderers, we best revel and marvel in this blockbuster of a victory at the weekend, Clive.
Oh, it's tremendous, Freddie. I didn't go myself. I was watching it on my iPhone. I was pacing up and down the room for 90 minutes, literally, because you could tell from the first minute that the Saints were up for it, and they deserved that win so badly, and I wanted it so badly, as did the players, obviously, and the fans that went there. Fantastic support all day long. You could hear them singing away. It was great.
Yeah, wonderful support, sold out. Although still a little bit peeved that we actually took a small allocation, but we will be covering kind of little bits and bobs about ticket allocations, a bit about the fans forum later on as well. So stay tuned, get involved in the comments. The weekend, Leicester, they tried their best efforts, didn't they? I hear that they tried replaying and all the 9 goals in the warm-ups with the commentary, and I think it was it really kind of spurred us on, and it was quite expressive from Saints from the very off.
Yeah, but as a professional, you don't really take much notice of all that stuff. You might just glance up at it while you're doing your warm-up, but to be honest, from Leicester's point of view, they do say that they do that every game, so whether they win, lose or draw, they say, but when they win 9-0, obviously it did seem like they were rubbing our noses in the dirt. But the main thing is, like Ralph says, you can get a bit wrapped up in wanting it too badly. There's an element for the players to stay focused and stay professional. Get stuck in by all means, but keep the level on it, really. And I thought that was a great point that he made there, because I've known teams that have gone out all fired up, amateur teams. They've gone out, they're too fired up. Sometimes the team gets too fired up. You've got to actually concentrate on your football as much as anything. Yes, the determination is fantastic, but sometimes you've got to use that.
Use your heads, exactly. And we wouldn't let our heads drop. We almost used it to our advantage to some extent to really prove everybody wrong, the writers, the doubters, the Leicester fans, etc. They thought we were going to visit King Power at the weekend and we're going to be a bit of a walkover. But, I mean, we did have a little bit of a scare, if you like, in the early few minutes. Leicester with a quick counter-attack left us a bit exposed. It was Vardy kind of racing past Stevens, firing the ball across the box, finds Dennis Pratt at the far post, and it was almost an instant reaction there, wasn't it?
It was, and you looked at the Leicester fans, and they'd almost expected that. They thought that's the first of many, and clearly, it was a wake-up call for them as much as anything this game. So fantastic effort, and going 1-0 down so early, it tested your nerve, I think. Tested all that preparation, all that team talk in everybody in a huddle and everything like that, saying what we're going to do. 1-0 down after a few minutes, and you're thinking, "Oh God, here we go again." Well, I wasn't thinking that, because I really thought that this team has moved on from those dark days back in October. So I had confidence, but you do obviously as a fan you fear that, don't you?
Well, I mean, it's a stark contrast on the team that came out on that Friday night in October, and what a difference! This 2.5 months, 3 months. I think they said 78 days of football have passed since then, or at least 78 calendar days.
Well, I've got to be honest, Freddie. In quite a few of those calendar days of football, you were wondering where it was coming from, but it's been absolutely dynamic over the Christmas and December period. Other than probably the West Ham game, obviously, which was and the Everton game, which was before that. But it's amazing that in a few weeks we can completely turn our season on its head.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we actually look like a team now that has, really, following the instructions from Ralph. We're a pressing side. We showed desire. We hustle. We're showcasing now a real identity. Having to fight back. Armstrong with that goal. Ward-Prowse is quite smart here. Lets the ball run across the box. Armstrong cuts in. Bit of fortune as it deflects past Schmeichel, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, a great feeling to get back so quickly, and very important for the players and the confidence of the lads. But I look at some of the goals we conceded. I think it was the West Ham game I was looking, and there were about 4 or 5 players culpable. Everybody was blaming Højbjerg for losing possession that game, but it was a culmination of things. I think that's the thing. It's the team effort that if a player does make a mistake, it's recognised straight away, and there's guys in the spaces to cover and to stop the opposition. Obviously Leicester had got that first goal, but there was so many times on Saturday where Leicester had a decent break. I didn't feel threatened by them in open play at all, right through the game. It was more from set pieces and free kicks and corners that I worried.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, they had a couple of chances, albeit for VAR to strike them out. And actually, I think Leicester put the ball in the back of net 4 times. 3 of those were striked out.
Yeah, well, the first one with Vardy was clearly offside. Bit unfortunate as well in that I think Højbjerg had played it against the Leicester player who shut him down in midfield, and it bounced straight into Vardy's path, but he was offside, thankfully. But the other ones, like I say, I didn't really feel that threatened from their open play, which when you think back to the first game, they were absolutely on fire at St Mary's. Every time they come forward, you thought they could score. But it was like I say, we've still got, despite all the euphoria, we've still got things we can improve on, and I think set pieces is one of them. Defending.
Yeah, sometimes we do look a bit vulnerable again. Perhaps Ralph will be looking in the market for a centre back. He has admitted that there will be a chance to sign a fullback, and Cedric's contract is up in the summer. Ryan Bertrand perhaps winding down in his career. I don't know how much to be seen, and there isn't much competition in those areas. But I guess if we, just briefly head back to the Leicester game. I mean, Ings was desperate to add to his tally at the weekend. Scott hit the bar twice in 60 seconds.
Yeah, I did scare the neighbours with that one there in the corner. Because I was looking at it on my mobile phone, and my eyes are knackered anyway, mate. But I thought he'd score because he seemed to wheel away, and then a few expletives were let loose in Bitton Park. But there we go. It wasn't too long before we had that, before we had the real goal. So, but we did have to wait second half, obviously, but. You could feel the goal was coming, and you feel that the positivity of the team going forward. Everybody talks about Danny Ings, and yes, he has been on fire and rightfully man of the match on Saturday. But the other guys there are contributing an awful lot. Shane Long, especially. Shane, for whatever reason, Shane Long and Danny Ings works. I've heard people slate Shane Long, absolutely some really unkind comments, but. What he does on a pitch is one of those things that I think if you played at a level of football, you appreciate, because he does a lot of the I don't want to say the donkey work because he's quite fast actually, but he does a lot of off the ball work. He worries the centre halves. He always occupies them. It's just his finishing. Obviously, we'd love it to be a lot better, but he's always there and he's always given it for Saints.
Yeah, he's getting into the right areas, holding up the ball, winning headers. And a lot of the writers have said this week, in fact, very selfless. So strikers, they love the glory, don't they? They want to put the ball in the back of the net. But
Of
Shane
course
Long,
they do.
it's not in his DNA to put the ball in the back of the net, Shane Long.
Well, not throughout his career, but I think you'll find if you talk to the fans of all the clubs he's been at, they'll have a respect for Shane Long because of what he gives to the team.
Yeah, I mean, our goal could have come so much easier, sooner. In fact, Shane Long winning the penalty, VAR. There was a massive VAR delay actually, and albeit Longy was adjudged offside, but by millimeters. And Soyuncu's yellow card in that process was rescinded, and we don't get the penalty. But I've got to say here, I think. Putting a neutral hat on here for a moment, I think that there were so many decisions at the weekend that weren't clear and they weren't obvious. As I say, Leicester denied 3 times, but equally, it's a level playing field now for Saints.
It is, I guess, Freddie. But in my opinion, I'd quite happy to be in VAR by now. But it's here, and I guess it's here to stay. So we make the most of it. I really think that. This always offside. If he's offside, he's offside. But you just don't know that split second of when the ball is passed. No one can be. If it's that close, if it's a toenail, then I don't think it's such a difficult rule, so hard to implement. And I guess, as much as referees aren't my favourite people, you do have it does give you more respect for them and an appreciation of the difficulty that they have to know, in real time, when something goes in real time, because the Premiership is so fast. It gives you an appreciation and respect for them. Yeah.
I almost feel like that.
They're twats. No, they are idiots. Yeah, they should. No, they are. Sorry, I don't know why I said that.
I almost feel like the referees are having to review these decisions because they're not confident in their own abilities. Everything is getting scrutinised to the finest margins because VAR is saying that was wrong. I mean, multiple pundits come out recently and said that it's ruining the spirit of the game. I mean, as you say, Long judged offside twice by millimetres in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but we've had it go the other way, and yeah. But anyway, yeah. Want to be traffic wardens? There you go.
Well, look, I mean, it went for us again.
Can we talk about football, Freddie? Because do you know what? Everybody talks about VAR, and it's like goes on and on and on about these decisions. But what you're actually forgetting is what's going on in front of you in the game. And I think the football is far more important. And what we're doing right now is so positive. So yeah, I see on social media endless debates about VAR deflecting from what's actually been out there in front of us.
Yeah, well, look, let's get back to the pitch and look. Danny Ings on the score sheet with the equaliser, 7 minutes from 8 or 9 minutes from time. And I think I've got to give credit here to Shay Adams and Nathan Redmond. Yeah, the winner.
The winner, Freddie.
The winner, yeah, of course. 2-1 on the night. And I've got to give credit to Shay Adams and Nathan Redmond here. They worked hard in the middle of that of the field between a sort of a 1-2 between the two of them, in between sort of 4 or 5 Leicester defenders. Adams somehow scoops it from under his feet, finds Danny Ings. He's 1-1, and it's 14th for the season now. And here's a statistic, Clive. I know you love finding facts. No one has scored this many by this stage of the season in a 38-game season since James Beattie, 13 since he scored that in 2002/03 season.
Oh, well. I'm quite interested in that, Freddie. Just keep scoring, Danny. I don't give a monkeys who scored what, but just keep going, mate. Just do it, because he is on fire. But again, like you say, and we mentioned Shane, but also Che and Nathan Redmond. Nathan Redmond needs to start contributing with goals. I think his play has improved. I think no end in the last few games. If he starts firing, then we really are serious about keeping this climb up the table going.
Well, I mean, also, in fact, Ings can have my babies. Quite apt, I suppose, on those comments. We've not conceded more than 1 goal since the Newcastle game. There's been a huge improvement defensively. I mean, we kind of rely on Danny Ings to put the ball in the back of the net, but Stevens and Bednarek have stepped up hugely in the last couple of weeks.
I agree. But yet again, I look on it on the team level. I think it's defending as a team. And I think much as, when I mentioned that West Ham goal that 5 or 6 players were culpable, now players are coming in and filling the gaps before it gets to that area. But I still maintain, and I'm really, really concerned about any time a team gets a free kick about 25, 30 yards out, we line up on the edge of the box, and it's the space between the goalkeeper and that line that teams are exploiting. Yes, we've benefited from the VAR decisions, but I can see a problem there. I don't feel safe when a team has a free kick there. Likewise, corners, but then teams are a lot more adept at scoring in the Premier League from these set pieces. But that's one area I would really love to see the team improving.
Yeah.
But individually, Bednarek and Stevens have formed an understanding. And if you think back to Michael Svensson and Klaus, there was an understanding there. And I think that's coming together now by them playing together. And if you look at our good form, I would imagine that the same team has been pretty much out there week in, week out. Probably the same 14, 15 players have been involved. So whilst it's fantastic, I would never say rest on our laurels. I think now is the time when we're having a good spell to go and build on that and make a couple of astute signings.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ralph has settled on this kind of core squad, as you say, sort of 14, 15 players. And again, it was only marginal changes. One change, Shane Long replacing Gineppo in this game at the weekend as well. But, I think we've seen this team showcase spirit and determination recently. Another comeback. In fact, a comeback isn't a word that was in our definition 18 months ago.
No, that's right. That's right. And it's very encouraging to see that. But like I say, don't rest on our laurels. Build on it, because we do need other players in. We haven't suffered too many injuries like some of these teams like Bournemouth have. I think there's another one I can't remember. Can't think. But anyway, we've been lucky. We've been lucky so far with injuries. But you got to say, the youngsters came in and did well in the cup, but are they ready for the Premier League? Ralph doesn't think so, but you never know until you chuck them in. But yeah, there's a need for bolstering that squad.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't think the under 23s are doing them much favour at the moment. I think they're sitting bottom of the Premier League 2 under 23 division, and perhaps it was just a chance to see what they've got in the cup games. I don't think Vokins or Smallburn are ready for the Premier League. But
hard to say until you chuck them in. I would never be too worried about a league position with the under 23s. It's all about, in reality, from that group of youth players, you'll be lucky to get 2 or 3 come through. So it's not about where they are in the league. It's about if those 2 or 3 guys that you think are, gonna step up to the bigger league, are they gonna make it? That's more important. And are they developing in the right way? Can we give them the chances when we give them the chances? Of course, if Saints get safe relatively quickly and we're not in the hunt for Europe, then that's an ideal opportunity to give young players their go. Yeah, we shall see. We shall see what the next few weeks bring. But Freddie, we're not out of the woods yet. It looks healthy and it feels great. It feels amazing to be halfway out that league. We've been in a relegation fight for 3 years, haven't we? I don't know what you tell me, but it feels like we've been there forever, mate. And so it feels really good to be looking down a little bit on people. And within almost, it's not I wouldn't say it's touching distance, but goodness me, this Wolves game's big, mate. We shouldn't really think, we've done it against Leicester, we've done it against Tottenham, we've done it against Chelsea. Let's have a rest. It's all guns blazing. Let's go and beat Wolves on Saturday.
Yeah, well, if we do beat Wolves, we do, close the gap. We're well amongst the Wolf pack at the weekend.
Oh dear!
We're 3 points from Wolves, who are in 7th, and the statistics are, 5 unbeaten, 13 points from 15 available, and that win at the weekend against Leicester just felt just as sweet as it did as they won in October, I guess, and it was a 3rd straight away win and 12th in the league. So good to fill that position as well. A bit of a cushion now opening up between now and the bottom 3. And Nathan commented earlier, but we didn't get the chance to throw it online. But here it is. In every Premier League teams in the last 10 games, we've won 5. won 5, drawn 3, lost 2. That's 20 points, and we'd be second in the table from the last 10 games, obviously
Wow.
just beyond Liverpool.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Fantastic. I've got my passport ready, but I'm not, mate, I'm not expecting anything, but I'm just delighted at the way it's gone. And I'm delighted at the spirit amongst the players and the supporters. It's so encouraging to see. And I guess because we've been a little bit downtrodden for that 3 years, it feels like it. It feels like someone's let you out of prison or something.
Is it too soon to agree with Samu here? We're staying up.
It's a massive in our favour. The odds are massively in our favour, but you know what football's like, Freddie. You know what football's like. If you'd said like even beginning of December that who would you have said Watford and Southampton and maybe Norwich, and now look at Watford and Saints. I think they're heading the right way. They might hit a buffer. And but there's no reason why we can't go on. And I that's why I just want to go and beat Wolves on Saturday, really, because things have fallen into our place. Whereas back in a few months ago, all the likely candidates for relegation were winning, like Brighton and Bournemouth and Burnley, and they all seem to be galloping off into the distance. And now it's gone the other way around, and we're above them. They're getting injuries. They've got tough fixtures coming up. Although Bournemouth have a run of 3 games, they might get something out of. But that if they don't, then you have to say it's very, very bleak for them. But let's concentrate on what we're doing, and let's go and win on Saturday.
Of course, and Wolves. I guess we're looking for our 3rd straight victory. As I say, that would bring us level on points with Wolves in 7th.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Fantastic progression. I think Ralph wanted to say that and highlight that in the post-match interview at Leicester. He said, do you feel like it was revenge for the game in October? He said, look, no, we just want to showcase how far we've progressed in this time. But Wolves, they've had so many games already this season, 32 games played, including the FA Cup 3rd round replay at the time of recording. Right now, they're 1-0 down, and they haven't made lots of changes in this FA Cup.
No, it's again, things are falling in our place in that Leicester had a cup game the week before, before they played us. Now Wolves have got a cup game Wednesday night going into Saturday. They've got to travel again. It's in our favour that if we stay in the game, that later on in the game we should be a little bit sharper. So I don't know if them things make much difference. I think it's just the attitude you go out with on the day, to be honest. But they seem to. But again, they've only lost, I believe they've lost 5 games in the Premier League, which is the same as Leicester. So they're a tough nut to crack. They do draw a lot. They draw a lot more than Leicester.
And currently, if we look at the form, Saints unbeaten in 5 and Wolves without winning 4 in Premier League games.
Indeed. But Wolves are wise, and I think that manager's wise. That Espirito Nuno. Go on, do your Spanish, Freddie, or even those Portuguese.
It's Portuguese. Nuno Espirito Santo.
There we go. You were gagging for that, weren't you? Anyway, he's. I think I really respect that guy, and he's so knowledgeable. And that's one thing that Wolves need to keep hold of, that manager, because they've got a lot of money, but you need the right guy guiding you. And I feel Wolves are where we were a few years ago, although now we've caught up again. But I still think we need to bolster massively to get back anywhere near where we were. Let's rejoice in these last few games. But if you can do it on a consistent basis, then you would say, we are not far away from where we were. But in my heart of hearts, I would say no, we've got a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, still, nearly 15 or so games to play till the end of the season. We're still not out of the woods yet. And I mean, to be honest, nor are, I guess, Wolves to some extent. They could easily be drawn down to the bottom half of the table. I mean, they've perhaps also got one eye on the Europa League knockout stages. They've got a favourable fixture against bottom of La Liga Español.
Yes, they have, and obviously, if they go out tonight, that'll be their main target for the season. I would think, possibly, if they could finish 6th, 7th again. But like I say, you got to respect the way that they've built over the years, and they are a big club. Historically, they're a big club. probably underperformed for many, many years. But you could say that about Sheffield Wednesday, Nottingham Forest, Leeds. They've all been down there, haven't they? But Wolves have come back and they've earned their place. And to get European football in their first season up is a tremendous achievement. So I'm expecting a really tough game. Last year was a very strange game in that they bossed us possession-wise, but we looked a lot more dangerous in front of goal. And if I remember rightly, Danny did he get 2 that day, or did he? I'm sure he scored.
Do you know what? I watched the highlights earlier. It was Sims
3-1, wasn't it?
3-1, yeah, at the tail end of last season. And that actually kind of all but sealed our survival last season.
Yeah,
it was, we saw a cameo from Josh Sims, explosive start, set up Nathan Redmond. He got 2, and Shane Long got the other one.
Okay, well, there you go. So he's got history, and he scored up at the Molineux this year, didn't he? That was kind of quite early in his run this season, wasn't it? I think
Danny.
That kind of. So he's got history there, and I think it's going to be one of those technical games where they might have 70% possession, but we've just got to be clinical in front of goal, and we have been recently. And the fans might need to be patient because they might be expecting a high energy performance where we boss the game, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Wolves will have a lot of that game. It's about being wise with the possession we get, and when we do get the chances, putting them away, and we will get chances. I think where that we are very, very positive going forward.
Yeah, and I think what we have been going for us recently is that we've been pressuring defenders to making mistakes. I mean, to be honest, the midfield is going to be quite interesting to watch. They've got Moutinho and Neves, great playmakers, both of them not afraid to get in amongst it, and it could be a heavyweight clash. Hojbjerg, Ward-Prowse, who's now got a nasty streak.
What, when he flicks his hair? Yeah, no, he is. He's got a lot more physical, isn't he? I've noticed that, and good on him. Yeah, that's going to be a fascinating battle, isn't it? In the middle there. So let's hope we come on top there. Like I say, I think they're going to have more of the ball, and it might be a bit of patience game with the Saints fans. I hope they're up for it.
So Steve asks, will Ralph run halfway up the touchline again if we score against Wolves? Hashtag running Ralph Express.
Running Ralph. Very good. Very good. Well, Freddie, I love the fact that he comes and celebrates with the fans at the end of the game. I've seen things on social media, some old blokes, I've supported the team for 50 years. Why does he have to do it? Why, of course he has to do it. It's connecting with the fans. That's what he's about. And I think it's the best thing we've had for years, to be honest. It's what we've always wanted, but obviously you're never going to please everyone, are you? But I think the criticism was that he does it when we win, but he doesn't do it when we lose. Well, when we lose, he's as pissed off as we are. So is he going to come round and clap the fans? Well, you might clap them for turning up 200 miles from home, but, I think it's a really positive thing that he connects. And I think it's great to see that.
And he's absolutely stuck that dagger back in the back of the, back into the critics that doubted his ability. We all feel revitalised, refreshed under Ralph recently, don't we?
Well, absolutely, mate. And I think he might have been 15 minutes from the sack against Watford. Who knows? It doesn't matter. What he's done in the last month is positive. We've taken a massive step forward, and I think that's what he's all about. The togetherness, the camaraderie within the team, within the whole club. And who knows what was going on behind the scenes? We don't. Nobody knows what was going on. There was a lot of conjecture. He's lost the changing room. He's done this. All these knee-jerk reactions come out. Actually, sometimes it's just the players, and the players need to buck up and get their heads down and graft and be the professionals that they're paid very handsomely to go and perform. And I think they've done that. Fair play, they have done that.
Okay, right. So we've got some predictions already flying in. So do get some more in if you're there in the comments. So Saints fan number 1 has gone 2-2 for Saturday. Tom has gone for a repeat from last season, 3-1. And so has Samuel. 3-1 is Nick's favourite scoreline too.
Is that right? Why is that?
I don't know. He always says it.
I'll go with the Desmond. I love a Desmond. So that's where I think it's going to be. I think it'll be. I'm hoping it's going to be a really entertaining game because I already rate them, and I think we've got so much more to offer going forward. little bit worried about the set pieces, but I think it could be a great game. I think the Leicester game, it wasn't first on Match of the Day for no, really, it wasn't just because Gary Lineker hosts it or whatever. It was because it was a bloody good game of football.
Yeah.
And if we'd conceded that equaliser in the last minute, we'd have been gutted. But you have to say we've gone to a team that is currently second in the Premier League, and we've met them fire with fire and performed admirably.
Nathan's
2-1,
gone.
what we got?
Yeah, Nathan's gone 2-1. Late winner from Danny Ings. Shane has gone 4-2 Saints.
Wow,
brilliant.
Shane,
Love that.
Shane.
Goal fest.
Shane.
Mark's gone.
Stick
Mark's
a pound
gone
on that
1-0.
one, Shane.
Mark's gone 1-0. Ings and Have My Babies has gone 2-1. Leo's gone 1-0. Lots of comments flying in. And if we just go back to Ralph's just comments here, Stevie's added, totally agree. Passion breeds passion, injects that excitement that Ralph really cares, and it's only positive. It's like watching a fan, and it resonates.
I think it does. I think that Arsenal game when he first came in, it was like an uplifting experience, wasn't it? You went away from that game with your head held high, and you went and got pissed and absolutely had it that night. It was just fantastic. So, yeah, it lifts you up, and that's what football's about. It can kick you in the nuts, but it can lift you sky high. And at the moment, it's lifting us sky high. Let's hope that's the way it's going to go. But we did want to mention about the forum, didn't we, Freddie?
Yeah, absolutely. That's on my next note, in fact.
Right, okay.
So obviously last week was the fans forum. It felt like it was only by invitational application only, but how much did you take from it, Clive?
Well, the fans are rightfully, they've stood up to be there, and fair play to them. They all deserve to be there. I'm sure they're lifelong supporters and everything, but I didn't think it was a fans forum. I thought it was a football forum, really. The fans forum should be for fans to discuss fans' issues, one of which I'm not particularly happy about is the allocation we're getting at away games. Like Chelsea, we had the small section. Leicester, we had the smaller allocation. And we're selling out really, really early. So I think
Palace low allocation too.
Yeah, Palace low allocation. Is that right? Right? I didn't know. I thought we had the I mean, yeah, I can understand it a little bit, but I would like the club to challenge the fans and say, let's fill the bigger allocation, rather than this sort of game of, you need to get your tickets within 3 days. And some of the guys that are, let's say, if you're not a season ticket holder or a member or whatever, you've got no chance of getting a ticket because they're all gone by the time it comes to that. So I'd like to see as many Saints, always want to see as many Saints fans at games as possible. So I think that's one thing we could do. The other big issue there, I think, was season ticket holders getting discounts against, your regular fans. Now, I'm a season ticket holder. I just want to see as many Saints fans there as possible, really. I understand it from a season ticket holder's perspective that they do get a bit fed up. But then if you analyse it through the season per game cost, they're getting a pretty good deal. If there are games, Watford midweek Watford won't midweek. What was the other one that was something midweek? Was it Norwich midweek? Was it on the telly? I can't even remember. But
they all were, weren't they?
In December, it's not exactly going to be a full house, really. So anything you can do to stick another 5,000 bums on seats is positive. Now, firstly, obviously, I'd like to see school kids given free tickets as much as possible. But everyone's got different opinions. But this is what the fans forums are about. I've got my opinions, but the guys, I didn't hear anything other than one guy who challenged them. I didn't hear one person that asked a serious question that night. It was all about football.
Should we put it out there to our regulars? I know some of you are currently in school at the moment. I mean, if you if you're a school pupil or school student right now and you were offered a free ticket, let us know if you'd be encouraged more to go to the games. But if we're on the subject of season tickets as well, the FA Cup fourth round, we know our opponents now, Tottenham, £10 for season ticket holders until Friday morning.
That's right. I think they could have given that till maybe Saturday midday to let people get in. A little bit longer really. that £10 offer, because it's not. A lot of people won't know about it until they get to the game on Saturday, and they'll be too late. Then they'll have to pay £20 if they want to go.
Yeah, I
mean, and that's quite a jump.
Another thing,
£20 is Saints v Spurs. £20, even if both teams are going to put 3 or 4 reserves out, is still a pretty damn good price, isn't it?
And we'll feel a little bit confident, obviously taking heart from the win on New Year's Day. But a lot of people, upset that I guess Northern season ticket holders are upset that they had to be displaced or replaced elsewhere, because Tottenham have taken the entire Northern end, block 40, 1, 2, and 3.
Well, perhaps they could go in the Itchen and start actually singing. It's been a bit disappointing, the Northern. I have to say, I stand just to the right in the Kingsland, and there's been games when they've been absolutely quiet. Been a bit better the last few games, but always thought we should have one full end as Saints. Stick the Tottenham up the chapel and have our whole end for the Northern. I think it does make a difference. I think we've actually. That's why I was kind of looking forward to an away cup match, because I love going away in the cup with a big following. There's nothing like it. So fancy winning the game, Freddie, but I think Spurs fans will make a hell of an atmosphere, and I think it'll be an advantage to them.
Yeah, 5,300 tickets, but we digress, and we'll get to that next week anyway. Right, Wolves,
too many, mate. Yeah,
Wolves.
Go on, mate.
You said it was going to be a Desmond Tutu. Lots of different comments there. Lots of positivity, and it's infectious right now, though, isn't it?
It is absolutely infectious, and that's why I want to see some signings to build on it. So many times in my history following Saints, we've got to a level, and then we've not built on it. We've not gone on to try and better ourselves. It's always about bettering yourself, and even if you see so many clubs in the Premier League. I think we're the lowest net spenders, aren't we?
One of them, at least. At least not the least. Yeah,
I just want to see. I think that got glossed over at the fans forum about we are a club that fits its means, or
living within our means. Yeah,
living within our means. Fair enough. Okay, so we're not going to spend silly money, but we'd like to see some money spent. And as I keep saying, when you see the likes of Bournemouth spending far more than us, and a few other clubs that are lesser supported, then you start to ask questions. Where is the ambition? So, as Peter always said,
as Pete.
Yeah.
Actually, whilst you're on that subject, I know one of your favourite haunts and match days now being voted the best roast dinner in the city, the Cricks.
Is it really? Oh,
yeah.
Good for the cricketers.
So, John, if you're watching or listening along, congratulations, mate.
Congratulations. The best roast. I will be in for a lamb shanks very soon, mate. But yeah, he's good lad. I think there's a few places opening up around town, aren't there? There's a few new ones in the high street. We've had the rejigging of the Spitfire to O'Neill's. Funky Monkey, is it? I don't know.
Grumpy Monkey.
Grumpy Monkey.
Hopefully we're not grumpy monkeys come Saturday evening, Clive.
We don't want to be a grumpy monkey, mate. We don't want to be a grumpy monkey.
Right, I think we'll call that full time then for this part of the show then on our live stream. Thank you so much for all your comments as well. Thank you for all of your predictions.
I just want to say, Freddie, look, if the guys think I've been a bit negative with the fans' comments, it's not that. It's just that I want us to progress from where we are right now. We've actually got to a level again where you can say things are looking a bit more positive. So let's not sit on our laurels. Let's try and take things forward. Let's buy some decent players, and quality players, and let's keep the youngsters coming in, and above all, get the fans involved. There's a lot of good things that they do, the club, but there's a lot more they can be doing.
Right. Okay. On that note, then, thank you all for joining us on the live stream. Clive, I'll probably see you Saturday evening.
No doubt, mate. No doubt. Up the Saints.
Up the Saints, indeed.